Welcome to Kelly's Canine College. This is beginning basic obedience orientation on some problem solving and your equipment you will need if you're coming to classes or doing private in-home training. So one of the first things I want to talk to you about is ditching the food bowl, okay? It's out of here, guys. These dogs need a lot of training, a lot of time with you. So they need a lot of energy drained. So a couple things I do. First and foremost, the food from their meals should be coming along with doing their training because we're doing positive motivational training. I mean, who doesn't find food rewarding, right? So the dogs do too. But today I'm too crazy busy this morning. I'll train tonight. So my dogs will get their food, especially our Beagle, out of her bowl here because this takes a lot longer for her to get her food out of. Little puzzly like thing. And or they can get their food from a Kong. And what I do, I put their bowl of kibble into a bowl and cover it with water. Drain that after about an hour or so. Stuff it in my Kong. And I like to use a puppy Kong or a senior Kong because it's much easier for the dog to get it out of than like the extreme Kong for heavy chewers. So when you're first trying to teach a dog to use a Kong, you want to use a softer one. So I'll put the kibble in there. I will put this in a mug and let the water drain out the bottom. And I'll put this in a Tupperware and stick it in my refrigerator so it kind of gets all stuck in there good. Feed it that way a day or two. Way too easy. This, with their food in here, will go into the freezer now. So tomorrow morning, again, I'm too busy to train this morning, so I will put this out for my dogs to get their meal that way. Another awesome is the tricky treat ball. I love these. I can put their whole bowl of kibble in here. And now they have to push this around the house or the yard. This could take them 10 to 15 minutes to get their meal out of this, out of their Kong. Takes little to no time to get out of this. So this is really not my preference. People are always asking me, how much should I feed my dog? Well, I will tell you, don't go off the bag because it's almost always twice what you should be feeding your dog. So I love these little measuring cups, individual. I get them at Dollar Tree 99-cent store. And I will tell you how much my dogs get. Peanut, my Chihuahua, she's 11 pounds. She gets 1/4 a cup twice a day. Now this will also include if I'm doing any training with treats, so that would maybe be half kibble, half treats. My Beagle, she's 23 pounds. She gets 1/3 of a cup twice a day. My little Toller, she's 43 pounds. She gets 1/2 a cup twice a day. Angel, our golden retriever, 64 pounds, a cup twice a day. Again, half kibble, half treats, depending on what I'm doing training-wise. So let's not overfeed our dogs. I always ask people, how much are you feeding your dog? I don't know, a whole bowl full. Well, how much is a bowl? Is it 1/2 a cup or 2 cups? And I tell people, let's not free feed the dogs. You come to training class, or I come to do your private and I say, skip their morning meal if I'm coming in the afternoon, or you're coming for training tonight. Don't feed your dog their meal. I want them good and hungry and motivated for training. So, this is also super nifty. You've seen these bowls that pop out. I really like these for camping and or when we're going hiking or we're going to be out training. I like these for water. I can hook this on my treat pouch or have it in my dog's bag. So, what do we feed our dogs? Every dog is different and likes different things, but I will tell you folks, we feed for calorie intake. We do not feed for the enjoyment of them liking a variety of different kind of kibble. Some people switch from beef kibble to chicken to turkey. That can really mess up their tummy. You want to stay with as far as food and treats go, let's stay away from wheat, corn, and soy. If they're going to have allergies, it's often to that. I also definitely stay away from BHA, which is a preservative in a lot of our dogs' foods and treats and our own foods. It's a preservative proven to cause cancer. You want to stay away from all the dyes, number 40, number 50, number 1. We don't need dyes. That's very dangerous for us also, health-wise. Okay, the other way my dogs get their food would be from this little muffin tin. Awesome. I pour their kibbles in here, or some treats, and they have to figure out how to get this out of here. That can take a little time to a lot of time, depending on the dog and how ambitious they are. A lot of them will just flip the whole thing, and it's out. But it is a good way to go. So on to chewing. Dogs are big chewers, some more than others. So I always see people giving their dogs these nice, soft, squishy, fluffy toys. That's great, or a very soft rope toy. That's awesome, but they also need harder things to chew on because they are teething. They're trying to cut through. Those baby teeth are all going to be falling out in a few months to let the adult teeth come down. So I like to use Nylabones. They're hard. This is Nylabone also, but it's gummy. It's a gummy one. This is not edible. They have some edible ones, but I've found them to be very expensive, and my dog could eat one in 3 to 5 minutes. So, but I want to show you. Great for puppies under, say, 3-4 months. This was my golden retrievers, and you can see she bit off the end of this, which it's not edible, but it did come out the other end, thank goodness. And you want to make sure you're buying for your size of dog. You know, Chihuahua, Rottweiler. This is a natural white beef bone. This has been sanitized. I prefer the one that has some nice meat on it. I get a big old knuckle bone from my butcher. That's always fun. You do not want to feed your dogs rib bones for sure, steak, chicken bones, anything like that can splinter. People ask me about the raw diet. I tell them, talk to your veterinarian about the raw diet. There's pros and cons to everything out there. One of my dog's favorite things are bully sticks. They come braided like this or in a straight stick. I kind of prefer the straight stick now that I've had these, because once they chew and suck on this, they get it all unwound. It's pretty thin, and it could lodge in the dog. Anything that is edible like this, I always watch my dog eating it, and I'm careful about it. If you have dogs that tend to be aggressive with each other over food, anything that was alive at one time is much more high value than, say, this plastic. So you have to know your dogs and trying to avoid dog fights and or possessiveness of it. Say if a kid came up and wanted to take this bone away from him, this could end up in a bite. So we will also be working on those kind of behaviors. Toys. My dogs like squeaky toys as well as everybody else. My beagles, that has a water bottle inside of here. Water bottles are her favorite thing, and I decided instead of just giving her, throwing her water bottles, which she could chew off the end or ingest some, I like to put them in these toys. There's usually Velcro here, can stick it in there, seal it up, and she has never chewed through this. She has been able to tear this apart and get them out that way. So you just have to play with your dog and see what's going to work for you. Some dogs are very big chewers. I don't have any here today, but a lot of toys are made out of your fire hose. Fire hose is a very strong material. Sometimes that works really good. Oh yeah, here's something. These are squeakers that our old gal Angel, our golden retriever, got out of some squeaky toys. You must be very careful about that. She actually, at 4 months, chewed through a toy and got the squeaker out and had it in the back of her mouth here squeaking away. And I said, well, no problem. I'm a dog trainer. I can get that away from her. And I said, Angel, you want a toy here? And I hadn't taught her to drop it yet. And you know what she did? Yep, thank you. Swallowed it. And I'll take that toy too. So we're going to be teaching your dogs the drop it. That's going to be a very important exercise. Housebreaking potty training is teaching your dog to ring a bell. Now, I don't find this very helpful if I'm in a 2-story house and this is jingling downstairs on the door for my dog to tell me they need to go out. But this is louder. This is very loud. My pygmy goats actually like to play with those bells. They would ring those because they wanted into the house from the backyard. So let's go on to equipment for your training. I want you to be very sure that your dogs are safe and secure and not going to be able to pull out of their collars. So I really like martingale collars. See this here? It tightens up, fits my dog just like its flat collar would, but when I close it, it doesn't come all the way together. If the dog tries to pull back, can't come out of it. Okay? This is only used for training or going for walks. This is not my dog's everyday collar. I'm not going to hang tags on this. You could get a dog could get his leg stuck in there. Another dog could grab onto this with their mouth, and actually a dog would turn. And now we have dogs tangled. I actually experienced that with a friend's dog. The only martingales that I like are the ones that have the latch. So in an emergency, I can unlatch them. If it doesn't have the latch, then you have to make it big to put it on them, and then you have to make it small to fit right, and then you have to make it big to get it back off. So the snap is by far the best way. Now this is one of my dog's flat collars. You want to be very sure that you have good hardware and have your dog's ID on here. For me, the most important ID is my cell phone number. That I'll pick it up in an instant if you call me. It also has her home again phone number on here. It has her rabies license. This is on my dog along with their training collar when you're coming to class or out training. I ask people all the time in class, well, where's your collar with your tags? Oh, I left it at home, or I left it in the car because I put their training collar on. And I want, go back, get your collar on. If some fluke thing happens and this thing does come off, I want you to have your dog on their tags so somebody can find them. This is a martingale also, but it has a chain for a little bit of correction if needed. So you can decide on that. The most important thing on these martingales is that it fits your dog. So you have a golden retriever puppy, 12 weeks old, you're going to have to buy 1 or 2 collars over time, because if it's too big and the dog's going to fall out of it, that's not going to work. If it comes all the way together, it's no different than having a flat collar on. When I pull this tight, it should not come all the way together. The other thing, you're going to need just a 6-foot leash. The most important thing, folks, is get your latch the appropriate size. So I had a golden retriever. Well, now I have a Chihuahua. So this was Golden's long line. This is my Chihuahua's long line, okay? You don't want a big heavy latch on your dog. You really want your dogs working off leash eventually, right? So you don't want big, heavy, cumbersome things. You want a 15-foot long line or longer for extended sit and down stays on their place, for boundary training. You want longer. That is aside from the 6-foot leash. And very hard to find little tiny latches for little teeny weeny dogs. I do make these on a very, very thin line. It's real important. This and this is one of my favorite long lines. This is Biothane. Biothane is a fake leather. It feels so good on the hands. It's so easy to clean. I'm out in the mud. I'm in the rain, at the beach, sands all over my cotton leash or my nylon leash. I get a wet cloth and wipe this Biothane down. Love it. This is also Biothane, and this is round tubing and has a good latch on the end here. This is a 30 to 50 foot long line. This is really good if I'm starting to work a dog off leash at longer distances. And this one I actually got without it having a handle because I don't want my dog getting snagged up on anything when I'm working him. You're going to need some kind of treat pouch, and I really like Pet Safe. I love this pocket in the front. I could show you, but I don't have my phone on me. It fits my phone right here. It's awesome. And also it pops open. Let me undo this. So I can open it and close it. So I lean over, all my treats are going to fall out. I can get my treats and close it. And it has a hook for just your belt and or to go around your tummy. Comes in red, black, blue. They're nice. I'm not too crazy about this type because it just hooks on here, and I've had them I lean over and the treats all fall out, and or it pops off my belt and now it's on the floor and all the treats fell out. But it's a nice little one for kids because they can get their hands in and out of here. Some people like this. This one is kind of cool because it's very big, but it's kind of closed up here. So, one thing I need to talk to you about is harnesses. There are a variety of harnesses out there, depending what you're using them for. My husband bike rides Lizzie, our beagle, every morning with this super plush, soft, it's called Easy Walker. Her head's through here, leash is attached at the back, so she is able to pull when she's on the bike ride, okay? By the way, he's on a recumbent 3-wheel bike, so he's not going to fall over. Let me show you what else he has here. In case of an emergency, he has his little pepper spray on the handlebars of his bike. In emergency, you can pop that off, boom. He's been chased down by quite a few coyotes, a couple of really big dogs, and that's pretty scary. This is personalsavers.com. And I am going to send you equipment list so you don't have to worry about remembering all this. It comes in black, and it also comes in pretty pink. I have found that they run small, so unless you're teeny tiny, I would get the large. So there's my pepper spray in here. I'm going for a walk, a jog, I'm out with my dogs, and somebody approaches me I'm not comfortable with, or loose dogs coming after my dog. Bingo, it's out. That quick. I really like having this on me. This is also awesome. This is an air horn. I can keep that right in my pouch. My husband also has this on his bike. He can put it, he has a pouch on his bike, and he could pull that out because, you know, we'd rather air horn the dog before we have to actually use the pepper spray on the dog. And as you can see, I've got a wind going today. That could end up a problem. I gotta tell you a funny story. My husband's beagle. They're bike riding, and he feels her pulling and pulling and pulling, and he stops and he looks back. This dog meant harm. Well, Lizzie, beagle, turns around, sees him coming. Ow! She's her own air horn. And that dog stopped in his track and go, I want nothing to do with you. I'm out of here. So that was pretty funny. Back to harnesses. So the harnesses, folks, that attach at the back, which a lot of us have for our little doggies, or even our big dogs, okay? This promotes pulling when it's at the shoulder blades, which is fine for sports. It's fine if I'm doing canine nose work. I want the dog out ahead of me searching. It's fine if I'm hunting. It's fine if I'm bike riding. So there are reasons to have this. Got a trachea problem, can't have a collar around my dog's neck. I will tell you, my little Chihuahua, I've bought her so many cute harnesses, hates anything that goes over her head. I do a lot of training to get dogs adjusted to putting a harness over, but you know what, she hates it, so I'm not gonna fight her on it. She has no problem with stepping into a harness that does not go over her head. So I've got this Velcroed and attached here, and then leash here, so that's nice and sturdy. I do see a lot of people walking around with harnesses that are way too loose, and dogs get out of those, so you want to make sure it fits your dog. This is very nice and soft. It's it's by Voyager. Nice and cushy for my doggie. This is a seat belt restraint, Easy Rider. So this attaches to my seat belt. It's nice and comfortable for my dog. This is not for training, folks. This is for riding in the car. I personally don't use harnesses for the car. I like my dogs confined in a crate. I think that's safer. And we do so many dog sports that I have to have my crate with me all the time anyway. Now, my go-to for dogs that are pulling is the Deluxe Easy Walk harness. I love the Deluxe because it's very cushy. It comes in all full sizes. It doesn't come in the half sizes. But if your dog, oh, this is closed. If your dog, like a boxer, greyhounds, if they don't have any hair coverage here in the armpits, it can really rub them with just the nylon type. They make them, so these are the half sizes, are not in the Deluxe, okay? So this, I unattach it. So here's the deal. You unattach all this and you go, oh my gosh, how do I put this thing together? The only one I unattach is the single color. This is the part that I have people look at. This is where my leash is going to attach at the chest, okay? So here's the deal on this. I tell people, don't look at it like it's a harness, look at it like it's a collar. You're slipping it over the dog's head. And then this part is at the chest. The belly strap is the one that goes behind the front legs here. So again, I can get my doggy to put their head through here and then put the bottom strap under the armpits. Now, this is way too big. He's going to fall out of it. When you adjust it at the front, the top, and the bottom. And there's very good explanations to that in the box. Okay? And then if any of you have ridden horses, it is more like a martingale on the horse's nose, but it's at the shoulders, so it's actually teaches them not to pull and forge forward. I will tell you though, there's no amount of trying different kind of equipment over training. I've had a few people I've worked with that I'm on like their 5th piece of equipment for pulling. They think that the equipment's going to do the job. It's the training that does the job. Equipment absolutely does help. If you have a dog that's fighting and biting and hating doing this, you teach the dog to walk into the harness or the collar. So I have my treat here and I have a video on this. I teach the dog to put his own head through to get the treat, okay? And then he comes right out. And I do it again and he gets the treat. So he's stepping into the harness or into the collar, okay? So we're not fighting. Clickers, awesome tool. Now, there's 2 ways to go about training. It's clicker, which is, I tell people it's like taking a snapshot. It's taking a picture. Sit. Perfect. You marked the behavior. Perfect smile. Click. If you click, you must treat. They did the behavior you wanted. I'm not trying to lure them into a sit. It's not a remote control. It's definitely not a remote control to get your dog to come. Okay? 1 click to 1 treat. Also, you're not going to use the clicker. You have a marker word instead. Yes, then treat. Yes, marks the behavior you wanted. Dog looked across the street. He was going to go get the kitty and he didn't. Yes, good job, treat. Okay, so we'll go over that more in training. Okay, one of the most important pieces of equipment you're going to love working with is a platform. Now folks, you can get creative and make your own platform. You can go on YouTube and learn how to make a dog platform. I'm just going to show you some of the things I have used and really enjoy. I will show you my favorite one at the end. I just think it's the best for going to classes with. So what I have here is, let me move my puppy over here. My dogs do such good stays. This is a dog, it's called a doggy lounger. They come in a million sizes, so you can look up doggy lounger. And I like it because it is nice, and my dogs have like a hammock type thing. My son made me these tops and I just have bungeed them down. Very good. We painted the top with some sand in it so it has some grip. Now, with that being said, so I have a doggy lounger and I also have a top that I can use for training. But your dogs also are going to need to learn to go to their place. It's not just about going on to a platform. So you can put a little towel over it. So aside from going to their platform, they're going to be taught to go to their place. This is, what is this? This is a half of a panel. Anyway, you can see it's industrial. They have a full long one and then they have a half a one. But it's not my favorite. It's very heavy. I wouldn't want to bring it to class. Now, I had a customer the other day give me this. Check it out for my little Yorkie. It's a stair stepper. It's, you know, like you use for exercising. So you don't have to always run out and buy something. You might have it right there in your garage. Look at here. My puppy's on his little platform. They're going to learn sit, down, stand, tricks. They're going to learn to stay. The reason I love platforms, folks, when you come to class, I keep my classes very small in number, but I will tell you, When you've got a dog on either side of you and 4 dogs across the way, and they're on their leashes and they're pulling and they're tugging and trying to get to each other, very difficult to keep your dog focused on you and what you're doing. When they're each on their little individual platforms, much easier to keep them contained and trained this way. Okay, hey, I found these also. These are rubbery and they're very soft on the top, so my little Yorkie could use one of these on top of here. That could be her place to go to. And or I've got this here to go on my, this one. So let me show you my all-time favorite though. I've just found that this is the best one, especially if I have a big dog, medium to big dog. Now my Beagle is 23 pounds. It's called the Gigapet. And I like it because it comes in a case, and look how thin it is, very thin. So you can carry it into class, no problem. We love it because we go camping. It takes no space in the RV or your tent. Bingo. And here we are. There's your little platform. The only thing I will say that I'm not crazy about, it has holes here that a dog could get his leg in and then maybe get an owie if he was running. But I cover it anyway with a blanket, or I have a mat on top, so those corners are pretty much not a problem, okay? This is another one we found. Now this is kind of cool for smaller dogs, but the only thing of it is it's a little taller than I would like, but it comes in a little carry case, just like our chair, fold-out chairs. It's a little tall, I think, for my smaller dogs. I wouldn't want a Yorkie or a Dachshund jumping up and off something this high. It's only about 2 inches higher than these other ones here, but that's enough to make a difference on a dog that might strain its back. But you can see, and it's square. I really prefer them to be rectangle, so I can get a straight down and a straight sit instead of this whole big square spot here. But just get creative. If you go online, there is endless shopping to do. We all know that. Okay? All of this equipment you will need for the first night of class that you're coming with your dogs. Or if I'm coming to do privates, you will need this then. I pretty much carry everything except for the platforms. I carried the collars, the long lines, the clickers, the pouches, the tricky treat balls, things like that, but individual like little Kongs and the chew, the Nyla bones and stuff, the beef bones, I don't carry that. But so you'll need to get creative, and you will need a platform that you're going to be starting your training immediately. So get shopping.